Good Monday afternoon to everyone. This is a special broadcast with some fabulous advocates. We are broadcasting live. We're going to be sharing our adventures with the ACR Convergence Conference. I am thrilled to welcome all of our guests out there. If you're tuning in live, please leave us an emoji, leave us a comment, like, and share with all of your internet friends. We're going to get started with some introductions, and then we're going to move on to our adventures for the next coming weeks as we team up together to take on the American College of Rheumatology. I'm Melissa Toller. I am a board-certified functional medicine, health, and wellness coach, and I am the executive director of the Support Fibromyalgia Network. I'm going to throw it over to Kelly to make her introductions, and then we're going to jump on over to Juana and Estella.
Hello, everyone. So good to be here. My name is Kelly Casas Rosetta, and I am the founder of the Portland-based lupus nonprofit, More Than Lupus. I am a 30-year lupus thriver, and More Than Lupus is really a place, an inclusive place where people of any generation, any background can feel welcomed. They can get resources and get connected to community. And one of my favorite things to do is collaborate with other organizations that are patient-driven and patient-focused, like you lovely ladies. I'm thrilled to be here.
We're excited to have you here. Okay, Juana, I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Oh, did we lose Juana? Okay, we may have let's come back to Juana. Estella, why don't we have yourself introduce yourself, and then Juana, we'll take care of, I'm going to send you a private chat.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Estella Mata. I'm one of the co-founders of Looms For Lupus, and I'm also excited to be here. And for those of you who don't know who Looms For Lupus is, we are a nonprofit organization that was founded by my sisters and I when my sister Juana was diagnosed with lupus in 2009. And we realized there was not a lot of information for communities that spoke Spanish. So we wanted to be the support for them, and also not just support the individual living with a condition, but also overlapping conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia, and including mental health. We support those that live with a condition and also their loved ones and caregivers. And all the services are provided in English and in Spanish, including support groups with a lot of art therapy and a lot of different modalities to relieve stress and just manage overall health well-being, not just, again, for the individual living with a condition, but their loved ones as well. So we're also excited to be here. Like Kelly, we love to collaborate and partner with so many other amazing patient-led organizations that, you know, like us, want to make a difference in amplifying the patient's voice. And I think my sister might be ready. So I'm excited to be here today.
Well, I'm so glad to welcome both of you, and we'll definitely get Juana situated. So hopefully she can join with the audio and the broadcast. I know as soon as, isn't that what's always happens with live videos? As soon everything works, and then suddenly you click live, and nothing works. So right now, I guess poor Juana, she can't hear us. So I'm going to move Juana to the backstage, and we'll try to troubleshoot a little bit, Juana, if that's okay. Right now, and let's see if we can get you in. You'll be able to hear backstage, and we'll bring you back in the private chat. Isn't it always how this goes with some stuff? So I think what we're doing this week is we're teaming up, right? We're teaming up for the ACR Convergence Conference of 2021. And just to give people context, this is the American College of Rheumatology's conference. It's called ACR Convergence. It's the world premiere rheumatology experience. It's taking place virtually this year. I know it's been happening in person, which both of you have been able to attend before. I think I attended some like way back in the day. It's been a long time. And this conference takes place virtually. It starts November 3rd through the 9th with extended programming November 10th. And we're excited to be attending. So we're going to go through what we're looking forward to seeing, and then also how to connect with us. Because if you're attending, you got to connect with us. I saw it today when I logged in and activated my account. You can leave your card. You can chat with us. So we're excited to meet with you. Let's kick it off with, first of all, let me ask Kelly, what are you looking forward to seeing or being a part of this year?
Oh, well, I think I'm most excited this year than I've ever been for the ACR. I think I'm excited this year in particular because it's the first time West Coast patient advocates are teaming up together, and to be able to have us all team up together is really a privilege and something I'm super excited about. I'm not gonna lie, usually the ACR is pretty stressful because it's just the traveling and it's the organizing and the this and the that and this is the first year I feel like I'm like, yes, let's do this. There's no stress at all. I'm just excited. I'm really nerding out about just the new scientific discoveries with disease pathways and different things that they've figured out regarding lupus and autoimmune illnesses. I'm very intrigued to hear about other medications in the pipeline to treat lupus and other autoimmune illnesses. I just love hearing my favorite doctors speak, Michelle Petrie. I love hearing, seeing what Dr. Don Thomas represents, Dr. Wallace. I geek out on the doctors and what they're going to bring to the table this year. I'm very excited. Where I saw that one of the speakers that we work with a lot, Dr. Rose out of Hospital for Special Jillian Rose out of Hospital for Special Surgery, she's going to be presenting about lupus and disparities. Really excited about that. There's just so much. Can't wait to get the hands on the information.
I noticed that as I was adding to my agenda. So there's a lot to go see, and even related to fibromyalgia, I definitely added that. So thank you, Kelly, for giving us some sharing. And two, I noticed ACR has virtual backgrounds for everyone. I got excited. You can add that to your, I guess it's your Zoom room. So, I'm going to geek out a little bit. But Estella, why don't you share with us what you're looking forward to experiencing?
Like Kelly, one of the things that, has always been exciting for us is to be able to be, at the forefront, and also not just listening and hearing from doctors like Dr. Wallace and all the amazing doctors that we've met throughout the years, but also the scientists and the scientific outcomes and the patient perspective posters. And it's just, it's a lot of information, so it could be overwhelming. But the great thing about it is that you can take back everything and then go back and review. But yes, definitely looking out for, any treatments that are coming up in the pipeline. We usually hear about it here, so it's very exciting. There's a lot of information also about fibromyalgia. I don't know if you've seen that. So there's going to be some discussions on that. And I think, again, just being able to be part of a conference where you're able to learn and bring it back to your community. So I'm looking forward to hopefully doing more of these live sessions with both of you and with my sister, so we can bring back the information that we gain from being at these conferences, because a lot of the times nothing happens, right? Nothing happens, and it doesn't come back to the community. So we want to make sure that we bring it back to the community, because not everyone can attend. And I do have to say, I'm excited about something new that happened. There's hubs. There's 37 hubs that are going to be there, so we can go and participate in the hubs and have one-on-one conversations with scientists and providers and researchers. So it's great to be able to participate, not just as a patient, but also as a stakeholder, and understanding that we are more than just patients. Our conditions is what makes us patients, right? Because we go get healthcare, we go get treatments for our conditions, but that's not all we have to offer. So I just want to encourage everyone to understand that, the reason we're always trying to amplify the patient's voice is because we are way above. Not above. We are more than just our patients' voices, but we do want to amplify the patient's voice because we know that we have different perspectives to bring on. But besides that, I do want to give the opportunity to my sister, Juana. I think she just joined us, so she can introduce herself. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, welcome back, Juana. I hope this works. So if you could take a minute to introduce yourself and then share what you're looking forward to seeing at ACR.
Definitely. Thank you. And I am so sorry. I don't know what was going on, internet connections. But hello, everyone. I'm Juana Mata. I am one of the co-founders of Looms For Lupus. I was also diagnosed with lupus, fibromyalgia, and other overlapping conditions. Since my diagnosis, I have advocated not only for lupus patients, caregivers, and loved ones, but I've also been very involved with the fibromyalgia mental health community, and I am excited to be here today. And what I'm looking forward, or why I am excited to participate in ACR this year is I just feel that it's important for us patients to also be in ACR, not only to learn from the researchers, the doctors, but also to be the voice for patients that cannot be present. I really truly believe that our personal stories impact, and the researchers can hear from our voices, and they can also see the face of a patient and see that what we have to also offer is important to ACR.
I love that. And we're going to get more into that conversation too, with sharing the patient experience and why it's important that healthcare advocates like ourselves get involved. But I do have my list too of things that I'm excited about. I saw they call like a case study roundtable a thieves market. I'm not sure what that is all about, but I would love to learn why. But I guess they go over different case studies so that you can learn from them with rheumatic and autoimmune conditions. So I thought that was good. The patient perspectives. I'm looking forward to joining a study group. It's immunogenomics to, I guess, the precision medicine for autoimmune diseases, poster sessions on fibromyalgia with abstracts. And then there was a good one that I tweeted this out. So if you're on Twitter, please all follow us. We'll put our links in the chat on quantitative analysis of gender and racial disparities in randomized controlled trials of fibromyalgia. And then there was another poster session I was watching this morning where someone was talking about Googling rheumatic diseases, evaluating the reliability of information found on the internet. And she goes to my alumni UCR. So that's why I was like, oh, I got to support my college, I guess, alumni. So this is awesome. But I'm so glad to be doing this. I'm glad we made this work out. So anyone out there, please definitely keep sharing this content. Tune in, ask us questions. We'll be here talking a little bit longer. Okay, so for what's next, we kind of tied into this a little bit with what we're looking forward to, but I kind of want to dive in a little bit more because all of you are more experienced with attending this from a more patient advocate perspective, especially when it comes to ACR. So why do you feel it's important for healthcare advocates and organizational leaders like ourselves to attend the ACR conferences? Estella, let's start with you.
I think, like Juana said it, I think she said it best, it is good to put a face to what the patient and what these treatments and these studies and how it impacts the patients as well. So putting a face, I think will be very beneficial. Again, also looking at, I'll give you an example. So we went to ACR, I think the last time we flew in, I think we were in Atlanta, and one of the last sessions, I was like so tired. We were all tired, and my sister and Christine, another one of the patient advocates that went with us, they went to this session. It was about nutrition and different modalities about I think it was like stress relief or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, let me just go to this last session before I leave. And when we sat there, I went in quietly, and you have all these experts sharing about just different studies. And the study that they were doing is looking at how different stress relieving techniques would help the individual patient. And it was a study done at a university. And I, very quietly, I was taking my notes. And as I was taking my notes, I realized oh my gosh, I don't even need to take notes. This is the stuff that we practice at home. This is what we're doing. And they were talking about mindfulness, meditation. They were talking about journaling. They were talking about art therapy. They were talking about just different things that would help the patient. And they had done this study to see if any of these things would help the patient. And of course, when they finished the whole session, I was so excited to jump on the mic, because they have a microphone for questions at the end. And I just thought to myself, they were able to do a study about stress and the triggers for flares on autoimmune conditions. And then they were able to study the impact that it has on patients to use all these different modalities that we had been using, that we had no proof that they would work. We just knew they would work because people would tell us. And so anyways, I went up to when they opened up the questions, and I stood up in the microphone, and I was just so excited to share with them that we had been doing this in our support groups. And you should have seen, you're sitting next to researchers, you're sitting next to doctors, to scientists. I mean, everyone there in the audience. It's pretty, almost like I got so nervous. I was like, I hope I don't say anything wrong, because, everyone's like, I feel like I'm like inferior to everyone. But then when I was up there, I was like, I'm good, because this is what we do and I know what we're doing. So anyways, all that to say that you'd be amazed as the things that you learn and the things that you can contribute. So one of the things that I learned from there is, one, we have to speak up. We have to raise our hand and be heard. Number two, try to see how you can collaborate and how you can contribute. So after the session, I was able to meet with the presenter, and they told me, they were interested in learning more about what we did. And they wanted to connect. So we did that. We did connect. So it was pretty amazing to see that. And not only that, is when people are listening to you and when they actually do reach back to you, I think it's really meaningful, because then you know what, I do belong here. And for those people that think that patients don't belong there, I want to say that it is we contribute, and we can also bring back information to patients. So for me, I know I went in on a rant, but I wanted to share that because that's one of the experiences that I've had. And then also learning about what's coming up and what's new. A lot of the times, like you, Melissa, like Kelly, like Juana, we are involved in these conversations online. We research ourselves, but to be able to hear it from the actual researcher or the scientist that's presenting their information, it's awesome. It's wonderful. It's like, okay, you know what? You are doing what's going to be best for us, and you are looking into all these things. So it's very nice to be able to hear and to be there and to get information that you wouldn't be given if you weren't present.
Exactly. And then we get to learn about other conditions, which I think maybe people think we don't want to. Like, I think they think we just assume, oh, because I'm diagnosed with fibromyalgia, that's all I care about. But it's all intriguing to learn more about lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and some of the other rheumatic conditions that you can also be diagnosed with fibromyalgia when you have those conditions. So it's all a learning experience. And that's why even I ask ACR to invite more patients to the table, even potentially doing a patient panel. I don't know if there's one like that, but we're going to get into a highlight too that Looms for Lupus provided with ACR shortly. But I'd like to just continue with this, like the importance of involving healthcare advocates like ourselves. Juana, did you have any insights to share on this?
I don't, other than, Estella said it all. When we were in ACR 2 years ago, it was just an incredible experience to learn and to share the information with the scientists and doctors. Like I said before, I truly believe that the patient's voice is necessary not only to increase the awareness, but the personal experiences or the personal stories can better illustrate, and the scientists, doctors can learn from our personal experiences and our stories. So definitely, I believe that, it is important for us patients to also be part and be present in ACR.
Well, I think we'll work on that. And I want to bring it to Kelly, who organized all of us coming together was a brilliant plan. And I definitely want to do more of this for next year because I saw the patient submissions, which we'll get into. But for Kelly, like, why do you feel it's important that healthcare advocates and organizations like ourselves get more involved with the ACR conferences?
Well, at the end of the day, researchers are absolutely necessary. Scientists and drug manufacturers are extremely important. You know, the medical centers and the medical professional are essential, yes, but we are the consumers. And it's weird to think of it that way, but and the patient, in my opinion, is the most important piece of this pie. And, you know, looking at our three organizations, which are committed to educating ourselves and joining the right conversations at the right time, pushing for things to change at the right time, being on top of the industry changes and different things that are happening in the news. And we are really committed to advocating on behalf of the people who follow our platforms, not just ourselves. And because of that, people, doctors, professionals, when we used to be so intimidated by these people, I mean, it's still, not gonna lie, still are sometimes, but they know that we have a seat at the table and they come to us and they want us to share this information with our platforms to get the information out there. And they're starting to realize that it's the community leaders that are going to allow patients to trust their doctors and comply with their therapies. It's the community leaders' job to bring this information back and explain it to the community in a way that's easy to follow, that's comprehensive, that's cohesive, where they can take all this crazy information that we glean at the ACR and then apply it so they can live their best life with lupus or another autoimmune illness or fibromyalgia, whatever it is. And that's our job. We're given the responsibility to do this and to do it well. And we all in this room here take that seriously, and we take it for the right reasons too. It's not just about us, it's about our community. It's not about profit, it's not about, you know, anything except our community.
Very wonderfully said. I mean, we put in a lot of patients first, right? We're with the patients on a community level, grassroots organizations, making an impact directly to the patients. So connecting those dots between patient and providers. And also, you know, I'm a nerd, right? So I love the science. I'll dig in with all the researchers. So like, we're all nerds. So we understand the science, we dig into it. And there's a lot too, because even behavioral therapy, I know with Looms and Looms for Lupus emphasizing that and integrating. So a lot of the topics that I see for conversations are things that we're implementing within our groups, our support groups, our networks. We're doing live streams and talking about it. So we're already meeting them there. So I think it's just presenting that information to people at ACR and be like, look, we're connecting with the patients at this type of level, so we can bring more incentive to your groups as well. So I love it, Kelly. And you brought us together with all of that. Just Kelly, just take a moment. Where can people connect with us right now or this coming week for ACR?
Well, if you are registered for the event, unfortunately the event is not free, but if you are registered, you can go to the nonprofit tab and you can see us there under More Than Lupus. Come by, say hi, drop us a comment or a note. But also too, we will be posting things that we are seeing in the sessions throughout the week on Twitter. So follow us all, our various Twitter handles, and you'll be able to catch glimpses of the latest and greatest things that are being talked about, that we're seeing at the sessions through the ACR Convergence 2021. And I believe the official hashtag is ACR 2021, or also I think they're using ACR Convergence 2021.
I'll double check because I think I was using ACR 21 like as a hashtag, and we followed all the Twitter. I guess they had handles for each of the study groups. So we're going to get dialed in. We're going to have a lot of conversations. We'll be tweeting and sharing on social media. If you're out here and you want to connect with us, be sure to stop by that nonprofit booth and connect with all of us fabulous. Well, maybe we can set up a separate chat with people. I don't know. I've never done this before, so the ideas are starting to flow as we're on camera, and we'll repeat that information coming up. But there is these important topics, because I've been hearing that there are going to be some patients attending, some patient advocates. So I know Carrie from My Several World, she's going to be out there. So just shout out to her. But one thing I want to highlight is just there's different ways to get involved, and we want to highlight that from our perspective. So I'd like to just introduce kind of what Estella and Juana worked on through Looms for Lupus and highlight the work as something they accomplished. It was last year for the meeting. But let's bring that up and have you guys take a discussion with that. Okay, take it away, Estella.
Yes, so what you're showing here is the abstract number PP11, which we are so very proud of. We were able to submit, so usually, I think it started in 2018, the ACR, or the American College of Rheumatology conference, started this process for patients to submit like their poster presentation. And they had, I believe, like 10 in 2018. That was the first year that we attended. Juana and I, we actually attended and were able to experience and hear from these 10 patients' journey and what they've learned and their relationship with their provider. And like Kelly was saying earlier, it's the community liaisons, us, we are the ones that know, and we connect with the community. And these are the things that we wanted to share as patients with the researchers and the scientists. So these patient perspective posters are a great way to doing that. So we had the ability to create this based on what we offer in our support group. And we came up with the Knitting a Community of Hope, supporting, empowering, and educating those living with lupus and overlapping conditions, their loved ones, and via person and in virtual support groups, including our therapy and wellness techniques, which is what I was talking about earlier, because we know that mental health is as important as physical health. So our patient perspective poster was basically about everything that we offer during our support groups. And it was awesome because they told says that we would have been, if we would have been in person, we would have been on stage. So there were only a few patient posters that were selected to be on stage. So can you imagine how amazing it would have been to be on stage and to be able to present this to, researchers and scientists and have them listen to what we had to say and what we had to offer. But anyway, it was really amazing. So we still celebrated, even though we were not there in person. We were able to have the discussion and share with others what we presented. So basically, Juana's diagnosis leading to her patient story of self-advocacy and awareness, documenting, journaling, making sure that she's tracked all her symptoms, to her advocating for her life, literally, when she was diagnosed with lupus, and how we share her story to empower others, illuminate them, and advocate for them, and empower them to not only take charge of their healthcare, but also take charge of their health, their overall health. So incorporating different modalities through support groups, also medication and treatment adherence, being part of the care team, and just different ways that they can utilize their voice and feel empowered to be part of their care. Because, one of the things that you don't always hear about is the patient. You hear about patient healthcare and patients being patient-centric, but really you don't always include the patient. So empowering the individual to take charge, to be part of their care team, adherence to treatment, participate in clinical trials, learn about clinical trials, even if they can't participate, and being part of research. Being part of research will not only help them, but help the future of treatments and the future generations to come. So that was what our poster was about. And, it was just really amazing to be able to share with everyone what we have been doing and that has been working. And it was just amazing to be able to share that. There are other patient perspective posters that were out there where they talk about the relationship with a provider, and then their journey of getting their diagnosis and their treatment and their health and their care and their healthy lives back, I want to say, to a certain point, because obviously with living with lupus, you don't get cured from lupus. You could just kind of temporarily be on a remission. So different stories like that. But I think with ours, the reason why I just thought it was so important to share it, and I was so glad that we were chosen, was because it was beyond just sharing our story. It was beyond that. It was incorporating other things and other modalities that have helped so many patients and will continue to help patients in the future with their overall care. So yeah, that was, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
And we were just very proud to have been selected. And I mean, it's things that we practice in every time we do our support groups, and it's something that we practice every day. We feel that it is important to do the different therapies, different modalities that have helped not only me, but other patients, not only with lupus, with fibromyalgia, but also with mental health, which is something that we also need to focus on.
I really appreciate you sharing this highlight. It's a tremendous accomplishment. So congratulations. And I'm hoping it's going to inspire more people to do this kind of work through ACR and learn more what's available for us. With Kelly, so I just wanted to kind of go back to see if you had more ideas for patients getting involved, or just in general, like sharing more of the experience of how to take advantage of things virtually. Like, how do we put together our schedules? Do you have some tips for us to share?
Well, we're now in this virtual setting, which is unique on its own. Before, we would be hustling through the various hallways of these giant conference centers in Chicago or New York or Atlanta, and we'd be sweating. It would be stressful. So this is just, this is so nice. Even though I miss being in person with everyone, it could get a little bit crazy in person at getting from session to session, making sure you're drinking and making sure you're taking care of yourself and all those things. But now that we're virtual, we have the opportunity that we can share more things with our communities and our platforms. So we're super excited about that. We really just strive for excellence. We strive to put out the information that we know is helpful to the lupus community or to the fibro community or the autoimmune community in general. And that's our goal, to see a need and fill the need. We don't like it when people talk for us. And so being patient-led organizations, patient-driven organizations, it's important to put out the information that will be the most applicable to the patient community, wherever that may be. And so that's kind of the goal, is to get the information that we know everyone's going to want to know, about the newest, latest and greatest treatments, about the diagnostic discoveries, about the new clinical trials. And the thing that's really interesting too is we talk about clinical trials a lot on More Than Lupus, and I know you do in your platforms as well, is that you don't hear, unless you are connected with a physician who's involved in a clinical trial, you don't really hear about clinical trials because they can't, due to the FDA regulations, they can't advertise for them on TV or news. So the only way you're going to hear about it is if someone like us tells you about it, outside of your physician who may be involved in a clinical trial. That's the only way. So once again, it gets back to, we want to be there for you. If you're watching right now and you're a patient, we want to be there for you to kind of fill the gap. And that's the whole goal of being there. It's not about anything else, about helping fill that gap and providing the needs of the patient community.
And that's exactly what we love doing. And Kelly, where can they connect with us again? And how can they connect with us again?
Yeah, well, check us all out on Twitter. Follow us. We will be posting throughout the week, and you will see things coming. Bing, 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 bing. I know we're all really good about that. And then if you are at the ACR, check us out. Go to the nonprofit tab at the top of the screen. It will take you to an alphabetical breakdown. Go to M for More Than Lupus. We are all under the More Than Lupus umbrella this time. But we have information on all 3 of our nonprofits there. We will all be there to chat with you, to connect with you. We can set up meetings with you. We are really excited about meeting new people, seeing people that we've known from before. But yeah, we are here to connect. We are here to connect. So we're looking forward to seeing you all out there, whether at the ACR or on Twitter.
That's perfect. And you can connect with all of us on LinkedIn. We'll be sure to post our links in the chat. And you can find all our accounts too on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So even Instagram, we are driving all of our, not even our personal accounts and our organization accounts all over social media. So there are plenty of ways to connect with us. And then please do stop by the booth, set up a meeting. We'd love to meet with all of you who are attending ACR's Convergence Conference. And then it has an option at the top to leave your card. So if you can't meet with us this coming week, we would love to set up meetings with you in the future to just share all the wonderful work that our organizations are doing for the patient community. So appreciate our fabulous guests for joining us. Thank you to Kelly, Estella, and Juana for making this happen. Maybe we can do another live broadcast during the week after things, but thank you everyone for tuning in live. We will see you next time. Bye.